Okay, today's video we're going to talk about Facebook campaigns, and I have a very specific method that can get your Facebook campaigns to work. This is the two-step method that I use to get Facebook campaigns to work when basically nothing else will work. And building upon our last video, I talked about the reason why a lot of people's Facebook ad campaigns don't work, which I'm going to also just rehash for you on this video as well. And then why the two-step process will get around the limitations of what can be done with Facebook and set yourself up to sell your product and actually have it framed, product or service, in a way which people are glad that they found what you presented them, other than annoyed or slightly annoyed by them having to see another ad. So with all that said, I am going to go through the method here of how I actually set up a two-step Facebook campaign and process to get results on Facebook where we can't see them any other way, or having a so-called one-step process where we just have ad and landing page and try to get them to buy, you know, what we have just by having them see our ad on Facebook and nothing else. And with the opposite being that somebody sees an ad which sets up another ad which they'll see, which the second ad will now be perceived in a much better light and therefore make more money. That whole method, I'll go through what that method is, also explain different instances where I use this exact methods for selling golf clubs, kitchen equipment, and so forth, so you could be able to tie this in exactly with what you're doing and potentially get Facebook to work when you couldn't get it to work before, or even just get Facebook to work better than what you have, given you're only using one ad and one landing page, or one landing page, or wherever you're taking people to. But just by running one ad on Facebook by itself, what can be done if you consider running a series of ads that people have to see in sequence to make your return on Facebook much better. So that said, I will go into those results and how to do it. But first, getting Facebook campaigns to work in general is hard work. It's the reason why most people try to use Google first, because the purchase intent is clear. These people are there to buy something. On Facebook, they're not. Of course, Facebook is, and it was a lot better than it was, it was a lot better than it is now, I should say, where through the Facebook lookalike algorithm, you could actually have Facebook find a customer by giving them a list of people who come to your site and not worry about too much. Just if the right person sees my product at the right time, or just sees my product in general, they'll buy. And if you have a particularly good, sweet product or service to offer, that can still potentially work. It worked easier before. Because things have gotten harder on Facebook recently, this two-step process may actually be the thing that it takes to get it working again. For many products and services, just one ad and one landing page, or one place to take people to on your site, basically, or where your landing page, not meaning a dedicated page, but wherever you're taking the person to, the final URL, is not enough, as people who go to Facebook do it to get information, news, updates from their friends and family, updates from their field, whatever, and you are there to hard sell them something, which is exactly what they don't want to be there for. It's almost like if you go to a party and somebody comes by and tries to sell you life insurance. That's the equivalent of us going to Facebook with our ads when we just say, here, buy my product, or here, buy my service. There's too much of a disconnect there from what the user's there for and what we want to try to do with them. Whereas on Google, obviously, they're there for something, we can give it to them. So on Facebook, they'll be happy to see what you have if you have something that's really, really nice and what you're selling, and really, really targeted. But it'll work a lot better if you can kind of delay the message that you actually want to get to a user, i.e. buy my product or service, by first offering them a little bit more of what they came to Facebook there in the first place. Information, an idea, whatever, and respectively taking what we sell and putting that into a little bit of a piece of information, a video, or whatever, and bringing our users to this so they can learn something, not just about our product, but in general about our category that we're in. And with that, once we got the user's attention, now we can actually try to sell them our product or service when we've earned their attention and we actually got their attention. So respectively, they don't ignore our ad when we present our ad to them on Facebook, which people are trained to ignore ads when they see them. This is how the human mind works. They go through Facebook, they're scrolling down, anything that even slightly looks like an ad, they're trained to skip over without even reading it. So most of our money goes right in the toilet because the people don't even read our ad. So no matter how good it is, of whatever it is we're offering, more than half will never even internalize what we're offering because it's an ad. An ad, people say, I don't want to look at any ad. I don't care what's offered. And then the few people that do actually look at it, of course, right away when you say that you're trying to sell them something, a lot of them are just turned off and are going to close it down, right away, because that's, again, not what they're there for. So anyway, there's an elegant way to do this to where you could set up some information about your product that will then set up the sale nicely. It'll lay it up right, tee it up for you, if you will, and you can tackle it right after that. Respectively, this is done through a two-step process. You're first leading with information, then you're leading with your offer. And even though you have to pay to advertise to the person twice, it ends up being way more profitable a good chunk of the time to do that, particularly where what you have to offer is unique, the results are unique, and people don't know what results you have. And ultimately, then, therefore, if you lead with the results, you'll get a lot more attention, and then you have a lot more then because you got more attention on your product or service through the advertising channel of Facebook. You'll end up with a lot more sales in the process. So what does this look like? My favorite way to break a Facebook campaign that did not work before is to divide it into two separate parts as follows. So we'll have two separate ads. One ad is going to then be seen directly before another ad, which the purpose of the first ad is to get the second ad to work. This is the thing that most people don't know. It can be your ticket to get ads to work in your space. The first ad is going to just be, and you can do this slightly different ways. There's more than one way to do a two-step Facebook campaign. This is the process that generally works the best, which is why I'm going with it here. The first step, normally, if you just don't want to reinvent the wheel and just take my advice and try to make this work, is going to be coming to Facebook and your same target audience that you think that ultimately will buy your product with a video ad. With the video ad, once somebody watches the video for at least 10 seconds, you can have them in a remarketing audience, which if you don't know how to set that up, you can Google that. It's real simple, to where they can then now be eligible to see your second ad. Your second ad is your regular old commercial offer that probably what you were offering before, or a slight version of that. And then with that, because they saw your video and they proved to be interested enough in the type of solutions more so the results that you offer, then spending money to get another ad in front of them becomes a lot. It's profitable, but the main thing that this two-step process, there's several things that this two-step process does. The reason why showing them two ads versus one ad is going to get your finite amount of ad spend that you have to spend on Facebook to be productive, whereas one ad by itself did not get that same amount of ad spend that you wanted to invest to be productive, after all your expenses and all that, i.e. generate a profit. The first ad, what it does, because the user's not going to see a second ad from you, which has your actual product or service for sale and a pitch to get them to buy it. They're not going to see that second ad if they have not proven that they were interested enough in the results your product or service can provide, because they have to have watched at least 10 seconds of the video. So most people won't watch the video. Of the ones that watch, some of them, obviously won't get past 10 seconds. The one that did watch basically most of the video will just say more than 10 seconds. These are all people who now know who you are, know the kind of results that your product or service provides, trust you, respect you now. And so whatever we spend to go after them again is just going to be profitable now. Of course, there's money to get our video ad in front of them in the first place, but because we're going at them with actual valuable information about a product that can help the user get results, and we are actually showing them the kind of results other past customers have gotten, and basically that's what you go with the video, or in the video with, and I'll speak a little bit about that video here more so in a second. But we've showed them the kind of results. You know, if we're talking about a golf driver, golf club, the driver that you tee off with, you show the person how you can drive the ball without a slice to where it won't curve, which is a big problem for people who are golfers, a certain subsegment of golfers. For the person who would do anything to get rid of a slice, you're showing them this new golf club that you sell, or presumably you sell, that gets rid of a slice every time, and then it's catching on as a new phenomena or major way that people with slices don't have a problem with slices in it anymore. And so you have the video ad say, "Slice no more." The new golf driver that gets rid of slices every time. And then the video, they watch it. Of course, once they watch more than 10 seconds, this person we know is seriously interested in getting rid of a slice, and they believe it now because we've visually shown them evidence of us helping other customers that use our product get rid of that slice. Then with that, we can go in with their commercial offer. And to speak on the commercial offer, so the second ad is just buy this driver, okay? Not so much just like that, which that in itself a lot of times would work on its own. What I like to do on the second step is to say buy our driver, our no slice driver. Just try to remind them, if you can, of the benefits of that product that they saw in the first video ad, so they remember the first video ad. That's very kind of key, that they remember the first video ad for the second ad to work. And then on top of that, I'll say special offer this month only. That part builds urgency and perceived scarcity in your offer so that they don't procrastinate. People who procrastinate, some only percentage of them will come back. People who with good intentions to buy later, sometimes they blow the money on something else or whatever. It's all kinds of things happen. So, they're open to buying a driver, but you saying that for July only we're offering 15% off this driver, but it's only going to be for July, they go from, yeah, I'm willing to buy it and I'll buy it soon, to I'm buying it now. Therefore, and you will get a higher ROI from your remarketing audience you built up from your earlier first step with that video ad there. With the ad that's going to say, buy the no slice driver, this month, special offer for July, get 15% off, you're going to have that second step ad that offers them the no slice driver to buy it and show it up to 21 times. So there's a thing in Facebook, if you don't know already, called ad frequency, which is the amount of people in your audience who has seen your ad. And so you'll build up a remarketing list with your video ad in the first step, and then of the remarketing list, you'll want everybody on that second list to at least see your ad basically 20 times. Why? Because that audience is so valuable to you now, and so vetted, and so qualified, and so willing and aware, and knows you and everything, that you would really milk it for all it's worth. Normally, you'd only want somebody to see your ad 7 or so times, because after that, there's so-called banner blindness, and your ROI starts to go down. With your video ad, you can actually show it to everybody only about 7 times. But once they get on your remarketing list, i.e. they've watched your video over 10 seconds already, you want to triple that at least. Okay? Respectively, the second ad, in the second step, and the second ad for the second step, it makes money because users stop ignoring your ad. Whereas if you just went with the no slice driver, that looks interesting, but I don't believe it. There's so many people with so much bullshit out there. No matter what you say, people don't believe it. They'll believe it if you physically show them examples of it working, of what you do. And they'll believe it if they can see real people getting results and their name and who they are and that kind of thing, which all that can be done, but it's easier done if you could just show a person a video who doesn't have their guard up thinking you're trying to sell them something. The video ad has no indication that you're trying to sell them something, so they don't have their guard up and they just digest the information for what it is. And the video and the results you provide just sell itself at that point. So they see your second ad that does sell them something. Because they see the video ad, they don't care at that point. But going back to the video, because it's a video and it's information, what they came to Facebook for in the first place was information and not an ad trying to sell them something. The user just stops ignoring what you have. So instead of 90% of people saying, oh, it's an ad, ignore, they see your video and they play it because I want to know about, golf tips, or I want to know how to get rid of my slice on my golf drive, so I'll watch this video. And so you can see why you're going to get more bang for your buck. More people are, in other words, are just going to be able to want to click on your ad in the first place versus just ignore it because it's an ad, it's trying to sell me something. The second thing is users then are more aware why they want to click on your ad once the actual sales ad comes up. Oh, I seen that in the video. They can even think, by the way, that this video that was promoted, you could, if you want to experiment with it, on a whole separate account, so that they think somebody else shared the video showing the great results, and when they see your sales ad, they think, wow, this is actually such a big product now that other people are talking about it, I have to buy it. I'm lucky because I found the company saying that they offer that same product and they're offering it 15% off this month. I'm amazing. I'm so lucky I found all this. Which can add even more results for you if you want to go ahead and set up one account for the video, one account for the second step ad. And then of course the last thing is that why this makes money is because it cuts down on the money spent marketing to unqualified people. So you're going to be able to show your ad a few times to people, your video ad a few times to people, but you're not going to advertise too much. You're going to focus more of your money that you're spending on the people who watched your video at least 10 seconds, indicating they would be candidates to buy versus just pounding a whole list. And you have to do it a whole bunch because most people ignore sales ads. You don't go that approach. You offer content, and then if they thought the content was interesting, which if they thought the content and the results on the content was interesting, therefore they'd buy, you then more so try to spend as much as you can on the people that already had raised their hand and said that, yes, I'm interested in this kind of solution for myself. So anyway, that's the whole kind of pitch that I would go with, or your two-step PPC process to do this for your own company. Your video should not sell anything, like I said, at least or until the very end of the video if you want to sneak something in there. But me personally, I would not even sell anything on that video. This is just about building a remarketing audience that will buy from you when and if you pitch them later on, which we will. And ideally that the video even looks like it came from another whole separate company, so it doesn't look like we have a scheme to basically sell them something, or we did this only to sell something later to them, or ultimately, and with that, them knowing, if they know we did both steps ourselves, which not very many people will catch on, but if they do, they're going to think our monthly special is bullshit as well, which it's not bullshit, but just the perception we were trying to manipulate them will make them less trusting and then therefore less likely to believe anything else we said, therefore they would not want to buy, or not, they won't want to buy at the rate that they would otherwise, as if they thought they saw the second ad organically after seeing a video, thinking they're lucky they found a good video, and then later on thinking they're lucky that they found an ad circulating around for the company that sells that product they saw in the video. So, and the video should focus on the user's end results that the user got or going to get. So you could actually have a demo video for the video that you're promoting as the first step. just showing different people, that it could, different people, you go out on the golf course, you find people that will use your driver. Hey, do you have a slice? Okay, here's the golf club. Why don't you hit it? We'll record it. We want to show how this product works. You could go that direction. You could go to customers that you have, call them up, and say that you'll offer them another product for free if you're willing to come out and let us shoot you. Or anymore, which is more common, what we do for our clients for video testimonials, we ask them to set up their own iPhone camera and just show them using the product. And of course, it could be also, if it's not a visual, like physical product, have them just saying, like a headshot video saying what kind of results they got. And then, if you show one guy getting results, and then another girl getting results, and then another guy getting results, and then another girl getting results, and you do that 5 or 10 times, by the end of the video, that person's not going to question anymore, can this product work? It's the best way to do the video that I found. And so I would just go with that general thing. But it's about making them think that they found just some information somebody shared, if you will, respectively. Or of course they're going to see so-and-so company is advertising this information. But the idea should be, if they weren't really closely paying attention, they just thought somebody was, some good information was shared around, and within that video, it's meant to just help someone find out how to get rid of that problem. But inside the video is actually what is normally called native advertising or product placement, where the product being sold is within the information, but it's not clear that that product that you're trying to sell is a part of the information deliberately. It seems to be organically there. So that's in general how to do the video, and then for the first step, and then the second step, and then how to do all this. So that's the whole kind of method that you can use. Of course, you could mix this up. You could put an article. You could even have an article, if you got an article on a third-party news website, or somebody reviewed a YouTuber reviewed your product on YouTube. And for the video here, you could take that ad and you could say, XYZ YouTuber reviewed this product and he got crazy results. And the person's thinking, whoa, really? They click on it, they go watch the video. The fact that they clicked on that ad, you can have them now in a remarketing audience, which now you can have an ad show up for them later on and now willing to buy it because they saw the influencer itself got the results. Okay? You obviously can go to the influencer and get them to use it, just so that you can take the fact that they reviewed it to put it into a Facebook ad, just to set up the second ad, which you do sell as your product, to somebody, and in which they'll trust it now because they saw the influencer do it, in which you're pushing traffic to the influencer's review, which is a kind of a spin on influencer marketing. Influencers, they spend all this, or people that do influencer marketing, they spend all this money to get influencers to review their product, but they don't actually use, particularly with YouTube videos, they don't pay money to drive traffic at that video that the influencer made, which in and itself could be a great way to sell their product or service more so than what that video itself provided, given they can use that as a lead-in, and then later on that same person who is willing to go watch that video, like we have here in this two-step plan, have your commercial offer show up for them after that and have it work, whereas if they didn't see that video, ultimately it wouldn't have worked. And as a side note to that, it can also work, by the way, just as what we are talking about influencers. If somebody reviews if I had a product reviewed on YouTube by an influencer, I'm right away making sure everybody else who watches that same influencer's YouTube channel, any other videos, they're going to see that video review show up as an ad on all the rest of that influencer's videos on that channel, because they already trust that influencer. Why wouldn't you want to make sure everybody else who watches any of that guy's or girl's rest of their videos on their channel to not force them to be aware of the review that they did on that channel of your product or service, and so that you can set up a second step ad that will sell them the product or service later. So just some different kind of spins on this, but you get the general idea where I'm going with this. Where has this worked before? I told you I was going to give you some examples here of where this has worked in the past, what kind of results we were getting. I told you the golf club example, that was a literal product that we did do this system on, this two-step Facebook system. With that, we had 491% ROI on the campaign, which, and this was actually not for a golf club manufacturer, by the way. This was just a local golf club store, essentially. And if you're not familiar, at those stores, they sell pretty much, everything. All the golf supplies. And the big thing in the golf world is you're buying new golf clubs as they come out. So, respectively, to get Facebook to work, if you try to just advertise your store, people don't give a crap. But if we lead in with a video that shows how this new driver is working that just came out, and it's new and it gets these great results, and we advertise that, and then we advertise that this driver's for sale at the local shop, which you can test swing, because they usually have a place inside the shop where you can hit into a net. That can drive now inbound traffic to the store, or just general demand for that product, which they could buy it online, but they also could buy it in the store. And in that situation, you could be the person who offers them if you can't offer them a discount because you have the so-called MAP pricing, you can have another bonus. We are going to throw in an extra dozen golf balls of these expensive new golf balls that everybody wants now. If you come in and get a driver from us, anything to do to get that person to come buy that driver, because once you get that customer, that time, they're going to, on average, buy 5 to 10 times more from you in the future. So the whole mechanism is just a way to use what's new, what's hot, to initially get some sort of attention from the user, and then you transform that into initial purchase and then repeat purchases after that. So this 491% ROI from the campaign itself, and then the future sales that it brought in, which with the in it itself, and they had a discount code that you could use, that you could mention, which is how we track this, which if you have a local store, that's what I would recommend if you're going to use this model, or just in general for Facebook or whatever. That's what I would use. But all the future lifetime value from those customers is going to bring it way over 481%. So if you're going to you have a store, work on advertising. It's one product. This is the kind of the moral of the story. Don't advertise your whole store. Advertise one single product. Advertise the hottest product you have. Advertise the results from that. Use that attention to sell, knowing and trying to calculate what the future sales you're going to get from people who buy, and then use that to justify the ad spend it took to get the user's attention in the first place on the first item. So no, you need to have something interesting and unique to say on at least the way that I'm talking about it here, doing this two-step process with the video. Because obviously if you're just offering some random product, what can you, okay, it has great results, but it's not any different than average results from a product that, people knew that's what results that you get from a product like that anyway. It's not news. You got to think of something that they genuinely, if they saw the video, they would be amazed by what they saw. That's the goal. Ultimately, going further, the ad for the video, before they play it, they should see something there that they didn't know they could get results doing that. In other words, they didn't know, going back to my previous example about the slice, that this product could get rid of a slice, okay, or any product can get rid of a slice, so to say. And so when they see a video saying that they can get rid of a slice, this is something that they haven't seen before, and I'm interested in, if I'm a person who has a slice at least. And so that video, it doesn't try to sell me, therefore I don't have my guard up, and I came for good information anyway, because that's why I'm on Facebook. But it seems like information I'm not going to be able to, in other words, find elsewhere. That's your goal. What can you promote in terms of the results of a product or service that you have, that those results people didn't think that they could necessarily find anywhere through any solution. And then that's going to lead to a high video watch rate, And obviously when you offer the product, you have the product pitch as the second step here later on, you're probably going to get the highest chance for an ROI anyway, given it's a new solution that they're not aware of, and basically it's in a class of its own, so they're not thinking, well, I've already thought about getting that before and I didn't want it, so therefore this is irrelevant. So in other words, if you can do the new, one way to have the greatest chance of success is to try to use the new products or services you have that people haven't heard about before, and if they knew the results on, they would be interested and go that angle. If you can, respectively, if the product or service you have is just old news, if you can, in that case, to make your stuff look more appealing and get the ROI up on the campaign, you could frame it to seem like it's something that is new but really isn't. Just by saying new product delivers less slice than other products in its category could deliver, whatever. So and just by having it framed as new, you'll get much higher response, and because people want to see information that they thought that it's rare information, it's information that you can't get every day, because that's what you're actually or should be going for. Any ad, this definitely applies, but you want the user to say or be able to answer why me and why now. Sorry, why me and why now? Why am I seeing this? Well, I have a slice, therefore that's why I'm watching this. Why now? Oh, this is a new technology that gets rid of slices, so therefore I do want to watch this, and it's important enough for me to watch this whole video at this particular time. So if you can try to say why me and why now with this video ad that you start out with, you'll have better success. It applies to any ad that you're doing, by the way, including the second step, why me? Well, I've seen this particular video that actually talked about this club before, and therefore I'm now interested in potentially buying it. And why now? Well, they're running a special this month only, so therefore if I am going to take advantage of this club, I should take advantage of it now. So anyway, that's the kind of a little bit more information about the whole thing. If you don't have something interesting to say, either come up with it, try to reframe what you have so it does look new and interesting and all that. If the results are good but not, it's common knowledge. In other words, try to make it seem like a new hot thing. You'll do better. And because nobody's going to watch a boring video about stuff that they already knew. You got to find a way to make it seem like they haven't seen this before and they're happy that they got this information because it solves the problem that they would like solved. The other case study that I am sharing with you here today is about kitchen equipment. So this is a business who sells certain supplies to commercial kitchens and bigger restaurants and stuff like that. So with that, we had shown a new solution that helps make kitchens that are running big operations to be more efficient. Okay, so it goes back to like what I said before. Try to just focus on one product. Don't advertise your whole store. You can't with this method, but to have it work, basically, we'll just say. But you find one item, and then through this two-step process, we'll advertise what this new item can do to get more attention on our brand in general through this mechanism. So with that, we showed a video showing what it can do to make your business more efficient, your kitchen operation more efficient. And then we later on showed an ad saying like how to get this, what's the price. We're offering a really good deal on it this month. We're able to get a 783% front-end ROI there. Now that front-end ROI is naturally going to be bigger because this was a 4-figure cost product. So therefore, more front-end ROI potential given ad space on Facebook ads costs what it costs respectively. So, and there's obviously repeat purchases that they can get, but there's just the purchase price is bigger, so therefore a bigger ROI is generally like what I'm trying to say there. But that also worked, and so this can work. In other words, for B2B, B2C. This can also work if you're delivering services as well. It's all you got to do. If you were offering a service that offers to, go through all your let's say like for business to business, if you're doing a client that did spend management, where they go through all your billing, all the stuff that you're spending money on, and they find ways to save you money, cut out waste. In other words, you could just talk about the other people that you've worked with that have saved money before, and then the video ad that gets them into the sequence just says, see how 3 companies have saved over $49,000 by simply, using this cool technique that finds waste in your spending, something like that, to get their attention. For home or B2C services, by the way, you could also come up with something that you could do there as well. It's tougher to seem hyper relevant and new and hip and all that to get someone's attention at a high rate with a video, but it can be done. I specifically use that just less in general for B2C, but you could also get creative. Respectively, I talked about on my very last video how, for instance, we would tie the news to, or the current events to what we were trying to do as a way to get people's attention. Inflation's a big thing right now. For a company that does homes, home construction in that kind of field, talking about how there's a special way that this company's actually had found a way to give people inflation relief, and then use that as a lead-in to get someone's attention initially, more so than just going after them and say, hey, buy my home remodeling service, because they don't want to see an ad, and people ignore these. And then another situation, to get people's attention at a higher rate, we ran a contest where if you won the contest, or it was like a game where you had to shoot a basketball or similar to that, and if you made it, you would get a free product as a way to get people into the store. And that's different than saying, come here and buy our mattress. You can get people at a higher rate. So regardless of what you're doing with Facebook, you want to try to do something outside the box to try to get someone's attention, and then use the attention to sell. So in that case, there's also a 2-step process with that. And with the game, we could actually show a video of that, but not so close. It's a little different than what I was talking about here. The visual results of the products or B2B related services are easier done through a video and through the very specific mechanism that I gave you here. But you could certainly show, if you're doing closet reorganizing, you could physically show how you reorganized someone's closets and got good results, and then just say, see how Memphis mid-range homeowners are organizing their closets, and then show as the default frame on the video some crazy organization technique, and then they watch it and they see how this is all done. And then, of course, later on, they can see how an ad that actually offers them that exact type of closet organization type. And then they go with it, or they don't, obviously. And that's actually a service where you can there's companies that just specialize in getting, which I've actually worked with one, where they will redesign your closet, not just taking stuff out and then rearranging it, but physically building different structures inside the closet to have different storage, better storage options, like shoe racks and all that good stuff. And they help you plan it, and then they come in and do it, and all that good stuff. So respectively, that's what you could do, and that's easier because it's a visual one again. If it's a massage service, you could be talking about see how these 3 local Houstonites have relieved their back pain that they had for years with one simple treatment. And then they watch the video and they see how through the back treatments they got rid of back pain. And if you have back pain, now I'm interested and open and really hungry for an ad that I haven't seen yet. But but will want to take you up on your offer when they see that ad. There's a final note about that. I really would just stay away from being tempted to sell on the video. Use the video to make it look like you're legitimately trying to help the person with the information. Then later on, let the ad try to sell them so that they think they're making their own kind of... They're coming up with the idea to buy from you themselves. You weren't trying to sell them, but they just happened to find an ad saying that you're offering a special this month, that if you were considering something like this, you could get a good deal on it this month. And they'll think it's their idea they're buying at that point, versus if the video offered information and at the end you try to sell them something, now all the information they've seen is now, as they think, suspect. So that's why you don't do it that way. Not to say there's ever a wrong way to do any of the stuff that, any Facebook stuff or whatever, but I would just say the video is purely about getting that information and collecting an audience. Your ads later are selling and extracting the value out of that audience you collected. And you do that as the second step. And you're going to make sure everybody's going to see that ad, because you're going to make sure everybody sees, ultimately gets that ad at least 20 times like I told you. So there's really no reason per se to actually also sell on that initial video that people see as on the first step, because they're going to all be given the opportunity to buy anyway. And of course you could argue they may forget what you said on the initial video. That is true, but the biggest thing is people don't trust people on the internet or what people are saying, and people don't trust advertising. If what you said, you've got something that can help people, why don't they buy? Because they don't trust it, or they don't think other people that they know use it yet, so therefore they don't need it, or whatever. And so if you could just basically get across that, what you have, the results you have are for sure going to happen, and ultimately, them being aware of it, you would just make all the sales that you need. So the video is to get the trust and get across exactly what's possible out there to do. And then selling to people then that have those things already is like shooting fish in a barrel. It's like being a big brand that, if you're the Mars company, you sell M&Ms, just M&Ms or whatever. When you advertise M&Ms, they don't have to sell you. They just put up an ad with M&Ms on it and triggers your memory as of M&Ms, and then some people go out and buy just having seen it. That's kind of how this works. You're building up a brand awareness with your first step of your ad, and then later on you're just triggering the idea or memory of what they saw that they already liked and wanted, and it's a percentage buy. So anyway, I'll wrap it up with that. If you really like this video, I would appreciate it if you'd give it a thumbs up so other people can see it and helps the algorithm get the video out there to more people. If you want to make a lot of money with PPC, I highly suggest that you consider subscribing to this channel, because I have all kinds of different videos where I come out with active working strategies that we're using for our clients here at our PPC firm, which I give to you guys all the time through my videos. So when something works, I put it out in a video, or I talk about stuff that's worked in the recently or in the past, at the very least. And there's a lot of great information I can offer you to make, let's just say as much as you want to with PPC. It's all about, can you go ahead and execute the things that users want to see, and I give you those things on this channel. I also have a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog with step-by-step instructions on how I physically build my campaigns here, particularly as we have to guarantee our clients results at Guaranteed PPC. So if you're interested in seeing information along those lines or in that format, you can also find that information or some information there along those lines, and should be real helpful to you potentially as well if you're trying to make money at PPC. If you have any questions, concerns, things you think I should have covered about this particular topic, leave me a comment down below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within just a day or two time. So that said, hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you on my next one, where I'll have another great PPC strategy ready to go for you and to use on your PPC campaigns. See you later.